This time on Distant Shores, we look at weather in the Bahamas as we deal with cold fronts and see what happens when you're hit with the largest waterspout we've ever seen. It's December in the Exuma Islands of the Bahamas, one of our favorite cruising destinations. We like the remote little islands with so many coves to poke into, but the water is a bit shallow and the winter brings cold fronts. Well, there's a cold front coming tomorrow, so we found ourselves a snug place where you can handle the wind going around basically 360 degrees. A cold front comes, you're going to find winds going from the normal east down to the southeast and south, then into the southwest. And then they start to build and come from the northwest, and that's when the front passes. That's what's going to be happening around here tomorrow. And we found a little hole in here that's protected against 360, so we can handle any kind of wind from in here.
Many of the favorite anchorages in the Exumas are protected from the prevailing easterly winds, but exposed to the west. There are less anchorages that work in west winds, but in some cases you can change anchorages as the front passes, although it will get choppy if the winds are strong.
That's our anchor chain heading off over there. So we've got about 23 meters of chain out and a strong snubber on. Anchoring in extremely shallow water like this brings its own challenges. I find that the normal formula for calculating the correct scope at 5:1 doesn't work. In this case, I would only need 15 meters of chain, but I never use less than 20 meters of chain to help avoid shock loading in the gusts. Along with the clear, shallow water in the Bahamas, we love the abundance of marine life we see here, like this spotted eagle ray. Spotted eagle rays grow to 8 feet across the wings and 500 pounds. This guy is about 4 feet across the wings.
The front comes through in the evening and brings winds of 30 knots, but passes overnight. We're happy in our protected spot and decide to stay another day to explore before we head south to Staniel Key, 8 miles away.
Were spent waiting for the norther on this desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too. Finally, the sun's getting low. We're just making it back to the boat in time. Now, we've been here before and never explored the island, and I swear this place is bigger than Gilligan's Island. It's an hour-and-a-half hike and we didn't even get to the end of it.
The next cold front isn't due to arrive for another 4 or 5 days. So we head on to Staniel Key and the anchorage at Big Major Spot. It is such an amazing night with the moonlight and the gentle breeze, clear seas.
What a gorgeous world we live in. There's sharks sleeping under the boat, there's pigs sleeping over on the beach, the moon's lighting up the whole thing so that the beach is glowing and the sand is glowing in the moonlight. What a world we live in. The regular cycle in the winter months involves a cold front passing every week or so, connected to low-pressure systems heading off from the American coast. If we're lucky, we'll have a few days of nice weather for exploring before the next front comes through.
Well, on the bright side, the boat gets a good wash down.
How many pigs can you get into a light airplane?
He's kidding. This is one of the ways you can do a tour of the Exumas and see the famous swimming pigs.
They're sitting there thinking, does he have any food back there? And that's really what he's doing. They may even smell it. I've got some grapes, but those are for the lizard.
We sail down to Georgetown, where there will be Christmas celebrations in a few days. Checking the weather, we see a stronger front is coming. This one promising winds up to 45 knots, and little do we realize, a waterspout.
We are in Crab Key Archipelago, if you want to call it that. It's just a very nice enclosed place with lots of little keys around it. And we've got a big norther coming shortly, so this is a good place to hide out for a few days. We like to check how well the anchor has set, especially when we're expecting winds over 30 knots.
Remember, wind force increases with the square of the wind speed, so increasing the wind to just 45 knots more than doubles the force of 30 knots of breeze.
I found it right here. Wow, it's buried amazing.
So since we don't have much rain today and there's a good breeze, I decided to cook up chicken tetrazzini. And then when we're closed in and it's raining for the next few days, which is the forecast, we can just heat this up in the microwave and have a salad, and we're not heating the boat up by cooking.
Okay, forecast for tonight, it's supposed to be blowing 30 with gusts of about 38 to 40. This is when the front is coming just right past us, and I think it's probably stalling near here, not getting very much further. Yeah, right now it's blowing around 25, but it's been up to 30 and higher gusts. And then tonight it's supposed to go closer to 40. There's some of the gusts of 35. Wow, it is blowing. So we have an anchor stopper here. So the chain, when it comes down, goes through this chain stopper, which is holding the tension. So that's the tension down to the chain. But we also have the rope on it running up to these two sides. The anchor snubber is cleated to this strong point on deck and takes the force of the anchor chain, also absorbing some of the shock loads when the boat bounces back on a wave. How nice and snug it looks down there with the lights on below. I'm going to go down and have a cup of tea. Well, this is the second night of our norther, cold front. Been with us here for nearly 2 days. And it seems like maybe it's starting to wear itself out. The forecast was for rain tonight too, but deck's dry here. Just taking a look around, we know how well that Okay, it's still pretty windy. I guess this is probably still 30 knots. So we're getting used to it now, maybe. A little bit of the moon is out. Just going to check the chafe gear. We know the anchor is completely and totally set, as it hasn't budged in this whole time, and now it's just probably set even deeper in the sand. We'll just take another look at the chafe gear. It's really kind of beautiful, actually. Just looking at the majesty of it. A decent blow. Wow. All good. All good. Today I'm going to go down and take a look at the anchor where it's got to. I've been here for the 3 days of this cold front.
The water is a little bit murky with the sand stirred up, so Paul's following the chain down to the anchor.
It's about 70 feet to go. I can't find it in the water, so I have to swim down the chain. It's perfectly set. It's so deep now, my goodness, it's going to be hard to get out of the water. It's really set great. As the wind is still from the southeast, we know the cold front is still approaching. These strong winds are warm, but stormy with squalls and unstable air. Bands of showers like this may pass you just before or shortly after the arrival of the front.
These bands of showers persist, and we stay another day buttoned up in our anchorage. But the next day looks better. Time to get moving. As we are just getting ready to leave, another shower comes up, so we go below to do a couple of chores when we hear on the VHF radio that someone has spotted a waterspout.
I run back up on deck and grab the camera to get a shot and see the biggest waterspout I've ever seen. And right in the anchorage, just over 100 yards away from us. It's right on top of a 40-foot powerboat.
We watch in horror as the boat is engulfed and spins crazily. We pray their anchor holds and that they're not tossed onto the rocky shoreline.
As quick as it came, it moves off and breaks up as it goes over the islands beside us. We raise the anchor to go over to the Angela D to check they're okay. The crew from another nearby boat, Zinzi, is already over checking up on them, and they shot this excellent video showing the funnel cloud itself.
The next day, we hear the story from Angie and Harold, who survived the waterspout.
Tell me what happens when I play it.
Okay, let's see.
So it has just hit you already.
Okay. The dinghy came up against the stern out of the water.
Here you're almost disappeared. It must be dark in there.
Well, it was.
Yeah. And the boat's heeling right over.
Yeah.
And were you below? Did it take you by surprise?
No,
Or
we saw it starting.
Got as much stuff put away as we could, and went in and sat down.
Oh my goodness, I totally missed the whole formation of it.
Well,
If I hadn't heard the radio, I wouldn't have known.
He says, oh, look at what's happening over there. And here it was starting to rotate.
That was close to you?
It was on the point.
It was all the way to the other side.
Oh, okay.
Over behind, I'll show you what we have for pictures from
Okay.
another boat. And we, kept going faster and faster, and then we realized it was coming straight at us. So we pulled a couple of things into the cabin and closed the back doors and just sat there.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh,
what were you
weird.
thinking in those few seconds?
Sugar, you said.
What's going to happen now? So it happened so quick, though. I mean,
Yeah.
like in 5 minutes from seeing it to it going, exiting,
Yeah.
it was all over.
So the answer is there's no way to prepare anything. You don't know where they are. They'll strike
Yeah.
out of the blue, 100-mile-an-hour winds. You can't prepare for it. You can
And
just-
And that was-
they're kind of erratic the way they move too. You don't know which way
This
they're going to
came
go.
right straight. It didn't veer 1 inch.
Oh dear.
Thank
It
you.
was so quick.
Oh, well, thank you so much for telling us your story. And we're so glad that you're fine and that the boat is okay.
Song tonight. Oh, jingle bells. The next day is Christmas Eve, and we make the trip over to Stocking Island at Georgetown for a cruiser holiday party. Hey, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
everyone, from Georgetown, Exuma.
Pretty breezy. It's about a mile across Georgetown Harbor. It's a bit of an exciting ride, and the breeze is up a little. It's a great harbor, but when the wind comes right down from the northwest like this, neither side is really good to anchor on. So we've crossed over, got a mile to go back.
Thanks for watching. Your views, likes, comments, and shares help us a lot. If you'd like more in-depth information and consultation, we invite you to check out the Distant Shores Cruising Club. Membership includes early access to videos, member-only Q&As, live chats, meetups, sailing opportunities, and many other benefits to help you prepare for your own adventure. Thanks again for your support. See you on the water.